What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first ever Dreadlabs podcast. My name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and I'm your host today. This is this is the first episode, and I want to have a couple of segments every other episode. The first one will be just with me, but I'm planning on inviting guests from all over the design world, the music world, and basically any guest that you would find suitable for this podcast. So yeah. If any suggestions on who should be a guest in the podcast, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. So the first episode, I'm just going to do the segments myself. And the first segment that I want to do is what did you have on repeat this week? So in this quick segment, I want to talk about like what kind of podcasts or what kind of music album or playlist or whatever were you listening to in the past week. What drives you to work and what did you have playing in the background, basically. So what I had in the background a lot in the past week was the Shut Up Brain podcast by Brilliant Side. And this is because I am working on my graduation project at the moment. So for my graduation project, I have to do a lot of research on mental health. And one of the ways that I can find a lot of solutions, basically, on how to deal with mental health issues is through the Shut Up Brain podcast. So if you are coping with some issues yourself, I really do recommend checking this podcast out because it really helped me out as well. And they have tons of good tips on any spectrum of the mental health subject, basically. And besides that, I was really in the mood for some hype music, which made me listen to the Dread Rave playlist on Spotify. So if you're not familiar with this, Dreadlabs does have 5 different playlists on Spotify. And these are being curated by me and all of the members on our Discord. So if you have any suggestions on adding to the playlist, please let me know. Because it would really be cool to have a playlist curated by a whole community together. And I'm really curious to hear what kind of music you would think would suit these playlists. The Dread Rave playlist is one of 5 playlists, and it's mainly some harder EDM, some darker, more heavy music. If you're kind of into that, you should really check it out. In the past few weeks, besides working on my graduation project, I have also been working on the Dreadlabs clothing drop, which is out now. So if you're interested in buying a couple of t-shirts, you can check it out on dreadlabs.net. But yeah, the idea behind this, behind the clothing collection is basically that zeitgeist of the late 90s and the early zeros, which I grew up to. And I watched anime shows, TV shows, and I obviously had like a lot of Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, trading cards basically. So yeah, these I remember fondly from my childhood, and I look back to that very happily. That became a main inspiration for this first ever drop. Even so, that I decided to promote the photo shoot that we did on trading cards in 3D. Cool thing is, I just came back from the printing shop today with actual holographic Dreadlabs trading cards, and these are from the photo shoot. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, they're doing that holographic thing. So yeah, I'm very happy with the result of this, and I might plan on releasing this as a collector's item for the people that really want it, and also like a small gift to the people that helped me put this whole thing together, because this was really the first project for Dreadlabs that I didn't do everything myself. So the photography in the photo shoot has been done by Nori. You can check her out on Instagram at Noriginal. I'll put the link up in the description. But yeah, she did the photos, and I'm really happy with the result of that. And besides that, my girlfriend, she really helped coordinating the shoot. You can find her on Instagram at gabi.erhalen. It's so weird to pronounce because it's Dutch. Anyway, I'll put the links up in the description of everyone who helped me with the shoot, because there's also been a model involved. And basically, the first ever project that I did with a team, like under me, I guess. So yeah, I had loads of fun. It was really cool to do that, and I'm very excited to do some more Dreadlabs projects in the future. So yeah, the printing has been done by a local printing shop, because a lot of people on Instagram already have been asking me how I did the holographic part in this on the cards, and actually I accidentally really matched the actual holographic part in comparison to the 3D model that I did, because I initially thought it would be like this. This is more of like a hexagonal shape, if you can see it. But yeah, the printing shop also provided a like test printing of another one, which really resembles what I had in mind a lot better. Yeah, anyway, I'm really happy with the whole project, how it turned out, and again, if you're interested in buying one of the t-shirts, or if you would really like some collectibles from Dreadlabs, please let me know in the comments, and we'll make it happen. And besides that, another thing that I've been busy doing is building Gunpla, which is a new hobby that I've grown into in the past couple 2 weeks or something. I bought 2 kits, and yeah, it's been really great. So basically what Gunpla is you have the series Gundam, which is a Japanese TV show about, robot mechs. Yeah, Gunpla is basically model kits that you can buy online or in a hobby shop basically near you. And you can build the models yourself. So yeah, I thought it might be good to have a hobby where I wouldn't be looking at a screen, because for my freelance work, for my school, obviously during COVID, and for Dreadlabs, I'm always working behind my laptop, which means that I'm basically looking at my laptop screen from morning until I go to bed. To blow off some steam, I usually play like a couple of video games. I do play some Borderlands, or I play some on my Switch. But yeah, everything that I'm doing with that involves me looking at a screen, which resulted in me thinking I should do something without looking at a screen for once. And I've been meaning to get into Gunpla for a while now. So yeah, this summer I said, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And yeah, it really helped me out mentally, and I've been really enjoying it. So and I already converted my friend Cas into this hobby. Cas is also a person involved in Dreadlabs. He's gonna pick up the label stuff with me very soon. We're planning on doing some meetings in the future where we coordinate the DJ live streams first, and we're planning on launching the label somewhere in the beginning of next year. So yeah, it's still in the works. Still have to do a couple of meetings with some artists, potential people that have to be involved. So yeah, it kind of takes a while setting up a label, especially if you're already have a company which does a lot of other things like Dreadlabs does. But yeah, the main thing that we do now is selling and sharing graphic design assets and knowledge. But yeah, we want to really expand that and get involved with other aspects of the creative industry, I guess. That's why I'm also planning on interviewing not only designers in this podcast, marketeers, event organizers, actors, writers, you name it. I actually already have been recording 3 or 4 episodes, and I recorded them last January. And you might be thinking to yourself, wait, weren't you not in the air in January? Because Dreadlabs launched in May, and that's correct. I recorded loads of content for Dreadlabs upfront, and in the end I decided not to use it because I did want to change the format of the podcast up a little bit, which sadly rendered the first 3 episodes useless. Or not useless, but it wouldn't fit the format anymore with the segments that I've been thinking of. So yeah, I had an episode with a DJ that just became big and started playing internationally. You might know him as Ricky West. And also a Dutch actor / writer. He does a lot. His name is Jachtstruik. I really want to re-interview these guys, but they have busy lives. So they might be guests in the future again. So another segment that I want to be doing is an artist highlight. And this way I want to highlight a artist, whether that's a musical artist or a graphic designer or whatever. And I want to put them in the spotlight of the Dreadlabs podcast for a while, so you guys can check him out and see if you dig his or her work. So the first week I want to put Tom Arena in the spotlight. Tom Arena is a graphic designer and lettering artist from Switzerland. If you don't know already, we have interviewed him on our Instagram. You can check it out on our website. We talk about creative blocks, working as a Instagram designer, so to speak, because he has quite a few followers already. I think he's already above 10K. And yeah, basically how he keeps being inspired and how he keeps making stuff, because he posts a lot of cool content. So yeah, if you want to check Tom Arena out, you can do so by clicking the link in the description down below. Yeah, please let me know if you dig his work, and let him know that you find it through our podcast. Then I want to dive into a more storytelling part of the podcast, which is the client slash working horror story. And in this segment, I want to ask my guests about a story that occurred to them where, for example, a client really did something, did a number on them, or basically like client horror stories or work-related horror stories, and see if we can learn something from it. So yeah, since I'm being the first guest, I'll start. And the first, my client horror story begins with, well, I have this client, and I won't name anyone or anything in specific, but I have this client that I've been working for a while now, and this is not the client whose horror story this is about, but I've been working for him for I think 2 or 3 years now, maybe. And basically, I do like a lot of his social design, basically like album covers, stuff like that. And a while ago, he wanted to start organizing this party, and he asked me to do the branding for this party. So basically, like social rollout, stuff like that. And I came up with a couple of proposals. I did logo design for them, and well, he was really happy with it. And yeah, I pushed through with it, and we arranged everything, and we came to a paying agreement and everything. And then this second party got involved, or this third party basically, which was the venue. And the venue, they did have an in-house graphic designer. And the first thing that he messaged my initial client, like the dude that I've been working for, the venue messaged him like, yeah, we have an in-house designer for this, we don't need this. But at this point, I already made the whole social rollout, and everything was done basically. So yeah, they talked about this in hindsight basically. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fine, you can use your in-house designer for this, but I still did my job, and I want to get paid for the stuff that I did. And they were like, no, we're not going to pay you because the work that you've done is, I don't remember exactly how they put it, but it was like, yeah, it's so generic that you can find templates for this on the internet. And granted, it might have been the case, because there's like tons of social templates everywhere, you know. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And you can also just go about your way and buy like a template or something. I don't care. But we came to an agreement with my client that I'm gonna get paid for the work that I've done. And they were like, no, because the work is, it looks too much like a template. And I was like, okay, fine, you can use your own work then. And they were like, okay, but then we're paying you 50% of what we initially wanted to pay you, or the 50% of what we've agreed on. But I do want the PSD files for this. And I was like, no, I'm gonna not send you the PSD files because, and this is quite important for designers, if you've ever done this, before you send out PSD files to your clients, you should really consider what they're gonna do with them. For example, if they would receive these PSD files from me, they basically had a template, and they could use this PSD file to make a social rollout every time they would organize like a new edition of the event. So for example, I did the branding for this event and logo design and everything, and then the social rollout was done, and they could use the PSD template to make 6 social rollouts for this same party, but then like every other, the party would occur every other 2 months. They basically had like a free social media template. And that's fine if you agree upon that beforehand. So if you say, okay, I'm going to make you a PSD social template that you can use for the next episode and so on, that's fine. But remember to think about this beforehand, because if you're not doing that, basically you're stealing your own work. And what I mean by that is, if you wouldn't be selling the template to them, for every other edition of this event, you could have more work for yourself. So for example, if they would have 6 other editions in the coming year, and it would take me, I don't know, maybe 2 hours to make a social rollout with it every edition, which results in 12 hours of work. So these 12 hours of work, you won't get paid if you just share the PSD with them. So if you would be selling this PSD, I would suggest also including the amount you would get paid for these estimated 12 hours of work that you're basically giving away at that point. So yeah, I hope this makes sense, because it might be kind of complicated if you think about it. So if this story wasn't really clear, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, anyway, I ended up saying, no, I'm not going to sell you the PSD files, and I want 100% paid. And the initial client of mine, he was kind enough to pay me the 50% that they wouldn't pay me. So yeah, he really helped me out there paying wise, but they basically got away with what they wanted to do. And I think in the end, they did use my logo design, and yeah, I think they used their in-house designer for the new assets and everything, and they turned out fine. But yeah, it was just I just wanted to take this story and learn you about how you are giving away work if you just gave away your PSD files, I guess. So guys, I guess this is it for the first episode. It was a really short one, but that's because I don't have a guest with me right now, so I'm not really I'm not really able to get into conversations. But that being said, I really do hope you learned something from the client horror story. And if you have any cool segments, suggestions, or anything to improve this podcast on, please let me know in the comments down below, or send me a DM on Instagram or anything, because I'm really open to improvement. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll hopefully see you in the next episode. Bye.